Welcome to a brand new episode of the Jampack Report, today for November the 20th of 2019. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast meant to bring you the top stories from around the industry 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, on YouTube and podcast services around the world. So if you enjoy the show, you like what you see, be sure to follow along by subscribing or clicking the follow button on your platform of choice. But today we have some big news to dive into because the Game Awards 2019 nominees have been announced, and there are many that we need to break down. Now, I will say, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to go about doing this on a show, and I think on today's episode of the Jampack Report, I'm going to be reading through the Engadget article that gives you a brief rundown of the biggest news from the nominations. Then, later on today, I'm also going to be releasing a video where I go through and talk about each individual category. I feel like that might be the best way to do it because your time is valuable. This show is supposed to give you a brief adrenaline shot of gaming news, and of course, there are 29 categories, so that takes a bit of time if I want to give my thoughts on each individual one. So that's pretty much the plan for that. But in addition to the Game Awards, we have Bioware getting a rebrand, Halo Combat Evolved coming to PC after the holiday, at least in beta form. Then Audible and Ubisoft are teaming up to make Assassin's Creed Gold, an audio drama series, coming to an audiobook source near you. Specifically Audible, because again, it's an Audible original. And finally, if you were having trouble reading the text in The Outer Worlds, boy, do I have some good news for you. Started playing that game over the weekend. I can't read a thing. My eyesight is horrendous. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's top stories. First off, Death Stranding and Control lead Game Awards nominees. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Untitled Goose Game pick up multiple nods. The Game Awards takes place in less than a month, and voting is now open after Jeff Keighley announced the nominees. Hideo Kojima's sprawling epic Death Stranding leads the pack with 9 nominations, including Game of the Year, Game Direction, Score/Music, Narrative, and Performance for both Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen. Remedy Entertainment's Control was not too far behind with 8. It picked up nominations such as Game of the Year, Game Direction, Art Direction, and 2 performance nods. The Outer Worlds, meanwhile, snagged 4 nominations, including Game of the Year and RPG. Joining that trio in the Game of the Year category are Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Resident Evil 2, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I believe it's actually Sekiro. But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate also picked up Best Family Game and Fighting Game nominations. Resident Evil 2 claimed 3 other nods for Design, Action Adventure, and Game Direction. Sekiro's 4 additional nominations are in Game Direction, Art Direction, Audio Design, and Action/Adventure categories. Fortnite snagged 3 nominations, including for Best Esports Game, Ongoing Game, and Community Support. Fortnite World Cup winner Kyle Buga-Giersdorf was nominated for Best Esports Player and, of course, was the victor at the tournament for the esports event. Other popular ongoing and esports games to pick up nominations include Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, League of Legends, Apex Legends, Overwatch, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy XIV, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Several other games have multiple nominations, including Call of Duty Modern Warfare with 3, Gears 5 with 3 nominations, Sayonara Wild Hearts 3 nominations, Borderlands 3 with 2 nominations, and the game seemingly everyone was talking about not too long ago, Untitled Goose Game with 2 nominations. One specifically notable name misses out in the Content Creator of the Year category. Last year's winner, Tyler Ninja Blevins. The nominees this time around are Jack Courage Dunlop, Benjamin Dr. Lupo Lupo, Soliel Ewok Wheeler, and David Greff G. Martinez, as well as Shroud himself, Michael Greshik. You will find out which titles and personalities will take home prizes when the Game Awards takes place December the 12th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific Time. And as ever, you can expect plenty of game nominations and world premieres on that night too. And so we have the nominees out. Of course, if you want to check out the entire list and vote for yourself, you can go to thegameawards.com/nominees. I will link that down below. But very exciting to say the least. Of course, as the entire gaming season winds down, it seems like the Game Awards begin to heat up. This is the celebration of gaming that we see on a year-to-year basis. But the main point that I want to drive home here is that I feel like this is very unfair in a way. I think that personally, the Game Awards should be moved into January. And I've seen this conversation start up on Twitter yet again because you have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, a game that was released on December 7th, 2018, in the running for Game of the Year, while The Outer Wilds, a game that was very well received in my opinion, and on top of that, stuff like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, completely out in the cold and ineligible for next year because of the cutoff date. And so that makes it a very difficult decision to make. Of course, some games are going to be given an advantage over this. Some games are going to be left in the dust because of this cutoff date, and it just seems very wrong, I don't know how else to put it, to give the cutoff date right in the middle of the holiday release season. Of course, the cutoff date for this year's awards was November the 15th. Of course, that is after most of the major games have come out, but still it leaves many out in the cold, and that is very, very unfortunate. And so I think that personally, the date should probably be moved to sometime in January or February. That would make more sense to me. But as far as this year's event goes, it seems like there is a lot of conversation around the nominees. Of course, more than ever, maybe I'm just paying attention more than ever, but the game of the year, I mean, whenever you have, of course, as I said, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is by all means a fine game in the running for game of the year, yet you don't have other big notable releases. It's just one of those things where it's an opinion piece. It's something that you have to analyze on an individual basis. But at the same time, very excited. Again, the awards are being held on December the 12th. You can watch along on, of course, Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, Facebook Gaming. If you have a gaming console, you can watch directly from the dashboard of your choice. There is plenty of opportunity to catch Jeff Keighley hosting the Game Awards this year. Of course, there's tons of news that's going to be coming to the show as well, and we'll see what happens. Maybe we will do a live watch-along or something along those lines on YouTube or a streaming platform or something like that. But, again, December the 12th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, if you did want to tune in and check out to see which wins the game of the year, as well as what games and personalities win the rest of the categories. However, Bioware is undergoing a rebrand following the Anthem and Mass Effect rumors. New and improved. Hopefully. Adding more weight to the recent rumors that Bioware plans on rebooting Anthem and is currently in the early stages of developing a brand new Mass Effect title, the veteran developer appears to be rebranding itself. The company's official Twitter account is adorned with a new, more rounded text logo and brand new design. Brand new features a whole page of freshly designed assets. It's all very clean and modern looking. As hinted, all of this ties into the ongoing notion that Bioware itself is being overhauled to some extent. Clearly, the developer is keen to adopt a new look going forward, which is understandable given the damage the Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem have done to the company's reputation. With Dragon Age 4 in the works, Anthem is supposedly being rejigged. Is that really a word? And Mass Effect apparently is making a return at some point. It will be very interesting to see what becomes of Bioware over the next few years. Here's hoping that the Canadian company rediscovers its once fantastic form. Indeed, it would be nice. But overall, very hopeful about the future of Bioware. At the same time, I just can't help but feel like this might not work out. Of course, I'm a pessimist by nature, and so I'm hoping that I am proven wrong in this, but a rebrand is something that shows a lot of money is being poured into the company. Of course, that's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, and so to be able to see a lot of big moves being made on the back end is something that reassures me that there is definitely funding that is going into Bioware, and funding that would supposedly, if these rumors are to be believed, going into Anthem and Mass Effect as well. And so to be able to see these brand new assets coming into play and to be able to see the new look via Twitter and other platforms, cool stuff. Cool stuff indeed. But I hope the best for the teams at the two Bioware locations. Of course, one in Canada, the other in the U.S., I believe. And so hopefully Anthem will definitely make a comeback, and hopefully the company overall will begin to get its footing back because it has definitely stumbled over the last few years. However, speaking of stumbling, the Master Chief Collection is coming to PC. Of course, Halo Reach is coming in December, but now Halo Combat Evolved on PC will get a beta after the holiday. Once Reach comes out next month after the holiday, we will start to reset, and we will start to flight Halo Combat Evolved. Community Director Brian Gerard tells the guys at PC Games In. We are just going to keep down the road until we fill out the rest of the collection. Halo Combat Evolved is a bit less notable as a PC release since it was already ported to the platform years ago, though the new version will obviously bring the anniversary enhancements and modernize multiplayer to the table. While it might seem like a straightforward process porting these games now, Gerard says there is a lot more nuance to the PC releases than you'd think. We are taking a game that's very old and we're trying to update it for this platform, making it run at 60 FPS, 4K, but also trying to account for all the requirements the PC gamers expect nowadays. Things like uncapped frame rates, an FOV slider, and support for different aspect ratios. Gerard says it's been more challenging than we initially thought and it's taken longer than we expected, but it's important that we don't cut corners. Halo Reach's PC launch date is set for December the 3rd, which will finally see the console-defining FPS games start their big return to PC. And so this is a very good piece of news. Again, you are going to be looking at a beta start after the holiday season, but I definitely love the approach they're taking here. Of course, for those that remember whenever the Master Chief Collection hit Xbox One, it was broken for what seemed like years, and when I say what seemed like, it was literally years. The game simply was not in a good state. Of course, it has since recovered to some degree and is still undergoing a lot of improvements, but to see the team taking their time with the PC release, to see their time being spent enhancing the game and making sure that PC players don't just get the short end of the stick, so to speak, is something that's very comforting for me, and it's something that definitely proves that they do have value in the PC space. And needless to say, Halo is a legendary franchise. People love the game, people love the franchise, and people love Master Chief. And of course, with Halo Infinite coming out next holiday, as the games roll out through the rest of 2020, PC players are going to be definitely building up when it comes to I suppose, reputation of Halo on PC, and that could make a very big release come next holiday whenever Halo Infinite does launch alongside Project Scarlet, but also on PC. Of course, it has also been noted that the Xbox Play Anywhere program is going to be available for Halo Infinite, and it's the first Project Scarlet game to actually support it. So you can play on console, you can play on PC, the saves crossover, the achievements crossover. It's a very big deal. But regardless, if you did want to dive into Halo Combat Evolved, the PC beta is going to be starting after the holiday, so get hyped. You are going to be returning to where it all began. Of course, again, Halo Reach coming out December the 3rd. That should tide you over until the first of the year. Or you could always just spend your time reading an Audible and Ubisoft collaboration through Assassin's Creed Gold, an audio drama series. In a story from The Hollywood Reporter, Audible and Ubisoft have teamed up to release Assassin's Creed Gold, an audio drama set in the Assassin's Creed universe. Assassin's Creed Gold follows Alaya Khan, a card shark and hustler who has been dealt a rough hand in life, says the official plot description on Audible. Surviving through her smarts and street scams, Aaliyah struggles to get by until she loses big time to a mysterious older man, Gavin Banks. Her only option to repay Banks is to become an assassin. During her training, Banks tells Aaliyah of the centuries-old battle between the Assassins and the Templars, imploring her to help him decode a secret message inscribed on an illegal form of currency during the Great Recoinage of 1696. Of course, written by Anthony DeCole, who wrote the Assassin's Creed Trial by Fire comic book series, the audio drama will star Riz Ahmed from Star Wars Rogue One, Anthony Head from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Danny Wallace from Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and Tamara Lawrence from Corvidae. Don't know what that one is. Assassin's Creed has set the highest bars in the world of gaming, says Steve Carsey, Audible's UK's Director of Original Content. Noted for their historical authenticity, world building, characterization, and storytelling, there could be no better universe to explore as an audio drama. Embracing the best of the game's characters, sophisticated plotting, and conspiracy-laden storylines, we couldn't wait to dive deep into the machinations of this multi-layered universe. Ever since its debut in 2007, the Assassin's Creed series is Ubisoft's best-selling franchise, with over 140 million copies sold. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which released in October 2018, received its final patch last month, and Assassin's Creed Gold launches on Audible February 27th, 2020. And if you're looking for the latest game in the series, Odyssey is available now on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So again, if you do want to have an audiobook that gives a brand new story from the Assassin's Creed universe, then by all means, you can follow the story of Aliyah Khan as she becomes an assassin and learns more about the Templars in the age-old battle as of February 27th of 2020. Now, from this specific description here, I'm not exactly sure when this takes place. Of course, they say that there was an illegal form of currency during the Great Recoinage of 1696 that is the subject within the audiobook itself, but I don't know that, of course, that is where we are set here. Now, of course, we have equal parts adrenaline-fueled and thought-provoking. Assassin's Creed Gold draws a compelling parallel with the financial chaos of Isaac Newton's 17th century Britain and the economic uncertainty of our more recent history. So is it something that's current? Is it something that is from the 17th century? That's what people want to know, and the official description is not giving me too much here. So I will say I'm not really sure when this one takes place, but if you like the Great Recoinage of 1696 and British/English history, then you might want to dive into Assassin's Creed Gold, which is going to be launching on February 27th of 2020 on Audible, if you did want to give that a listen. But finally, to round out today's stories, the Outer Worlds text is getting bigger in a brand new patch. A noble title update embiggens the smallest font. Good news for those squinting at the text in the Outer Worlds. Obsidian Entertainment released an update to its role-playing game that directly addresses that issue, plus other problems that some players had spotted since the game launched last month. Patch 1.1.1.0 for the Outer Worlds adds a toggle to increase font size and conversation text, cinematic subtitles, bark subtitles, and terminal text, according to the patch notes released on the Obsidian forums. The typeface for dialogue and subtitles has been called out by many players as way too small since day one. Here is a good example. If you are listening, it is incredibly tiny. I can't read anything. The patch will increase the text size as well as resolve glitches that crash the game while in Tartarus prevented players from finishing the radio-free Monarch mission, and it didn't unlock a trophy/achievement. Not the best choice. Patch 1.1.1.0 should also clear up a muffled sound effects issue on the PS4 and a problem where companions would die, causing a companion quest failure in modes other than Supernova. We are continually reviewing and working on items that you're sharing with us, the developers say. We will continue to work on updates and patches to see how we can make your gaming experience the best it can possibly be. Those who still spot unresolved issues are invited to check this thread on the Outer Worlds forums, and if no player has mentioned it there, open a support ticket with the publisher Private Division. The Outer Worlds launched October the 25th on PS4, Windows PC, and Xbox One, and Obsidian said earlier this month it will be coming to Nintendo Switch early next year. Of course, the full patch notes are below if you did want to click on the link and give it a read. But this is a fantastic improvement. Of course, I just started diving into the Outer Worlds. I'm playing it on the Xbox One via Game Pass, and I will say, this text, very tiny. The game itself, pretty solid. It's a good Obsidian RPG. It's got just enough jank to keep me grounded, but it also has enough whimsy to really keep me lifted. That was a weird sentence, wasn't it? But if you want to dive in, this is now a good time to do so, especially if you are nearsighted or farsighted, of which I have both. One eye is nearsighted, one eye is farsighted. Fun fact of the day for the audience out there. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. Of course, if you enjoyed this one, be sure to drop me a like down below if you are watching on YouTube. And on top of that, come back tomorrow for a brand new episode of the Jampack Report. But until then, have a phenomenal rest of your day. I will talk to you soon, and peace.